Hi, this is Jill from Humu Yoga, and this is the full practice. This week we're working with the theme of space. So I'm going to take us through a gentle opening, and I'll take us through some inspirational quotes on space. And then I'll weave this into a full yoga class where we're going to really focus on hamstrings and hips, but we're going to work the whole body as well. So if this is something you really like, please subscribe, because I do a different class every week with a different theme and a different focus. To get started, just notice how you're sitting. You can close your eyes and reach the fingertips out to the side. I always like to start by connecting to bandhas or inner locks. So just notice the muscles you're sitting on or pelvic floor and engage it enough for support. We call that Mula Bandha, and that means root lock. And then above that, below the belly button, draw the belly in and get a sense of lift. We call that Uddiyana Bandha, and that means flying upward. And then at the top of the spine, just draw the chin down. We call that Jalandhara Bandha or chin lock. And now, with the bandhas engaged, you're supported from within so you can release the hands, and we'll just begin to focus on the breath. So keeping the bandhas engaged, I want you to really focus on breathing into the rib cage. So as you inhale, the diaphragm fills up and it expands, taking the ribs with it. And then as you exhale, that diaphragm relaxes and the rib cage comes down with it. Inhale, expand. Exhale, release. And one more big breath in, inhale and exhale. Let's take the hands together in prayer position and we'll vibrate together in Om, and then I'll go through the quotes. Inhale. Sometimes the most important thing in a whole day is the rest we take between two deep breaths. Find the space between doing and being. That's where you'll meet yourself. In the stillness, we remember who we are. In the space, we create. We begin to heal. Creating space isn't about emptiness. It's about making room for what truly matters. You don't have to escape your life to find peace. Just create a little space inside it. Space. I love that. It's a gentle pause where we can connect to what's really important. So in yoga, that can mean the breath, the focus, and the alignment. And then very naturally, by finding this connection, our bodies start to find more space and open up too. So let's go ahead and we'll get started, and we'll come to all fours. So coming to all fours, we'll go ahead and round the spine. And feel now we're creating space in the back body as we connect to the front body. We're really pulling in. And then as you inhale, we come forward, and now we're contracting the back body and opening, finding space in the front body. And then one more time, exhale, pull the belly in, and we're widening across the back, opening it up. And then inhale, coming forward and connecting to the back body, opening to the front of the body. And then come to neutral. And then let's take it back to downward facing dog. And oh my goodness, so much going on here. Breathe here. Notice where you're feeling tight. Notice I'm bending my knees. I'm taking my chest closer to my legs to really open the shoulders and get my back engaged so I'm not rounding. And then I start to try and stay here and straighten the legs. And oh boy, hamstrings and calves. Keep the belly lifted. Just feel all the openings happening. Slow breathing. You could bend and straighten a couple times. Inhale, finding openness and space. And then let's very slowly walk up to the front. I like to push down with my hands, lift my belly, just opening things up here. And then once you get to the top of the mat, you can just hang out. You could even have your knees slightly bent. And let's go ahead and grab the elbows. And it's like a little weight pulling you down. Like I said, the knees can be bent. We're just opening things up. And then let go of the hands. Let's slowly curl up. So soften the knees, Pull the belly in, one vertebra at a time as you stack the spine, coming all the way up to the top. And just let the shoulders roll down and back and get a sense of width across the sternum. And then we'll step everything together in Samasthiti, standing still and straight. We're going to go ahead and start with our sun salutations. But before we do, I always practice with 2 yoga blocks and a little towel, but you could use a yoga strap. But it's not necessary. They just offer me a little assistance, support, modification. Inhale, here we go. Surya Namaskar, A, reaching. Exhale, fold, pull the belly in so we can really stretch the hamstrings and the spine. Forward, inhale, lengthen. And let's go ahead and take it back to plank. I always like to take a moment in this plank to notice, are you really engaged, or is your butt up, or are you hanging? Really engage, everything's working here. I take the knees down so I can maintain that as I lower, lowering down, and then push back up. And let's come forward to an upward facing dog. Tail under, so here's a nice back bend. Shoulders are rolling away from the ears, and I'm really pushing the top of my feet down, trying to get my pubic bone to my heart, lifting the sternum, gazing down the nose, and then exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe here and just notice where you are now in this down dog. Can you really feel the back of the leg stretch? Maybe you want to bend the knees, get the chest closer so the back is nice and lengthened, and then straighten. I'm elevating my shoulders, rolling them away from my ears, breathing, finding space and openness. And then let's slowly make our way up so you can push down, really get a sense of lift. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Reach. And exhale, hands down. Let's do that again. Inhale, space. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Let's go ahead and take it back. Find that plank. Maintain that line as you lower down. And rise. Coming forward. Open the sternum, lift, tail under, and we'll take it back, downward facing dog. And breathe. Adjust as you need here. Inhale and exhale. Keep reaching through the hands, through the heels, shoulders elevated, rolling away from the ears, breathing. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. And exhale. And again, let's make our way up to the front. I'm pushing down, lifting up, all the way up, and fold. Inhale, lengthen, reach, and exhale, hands come down. Surya Namaskar B, bend the knees. I'm going to use the blocks here that give me some height. Inhale, reach, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And this time I'm going to lightly hop back, but it's okay to step back, lift up, go back. And then we're going to lower and rise and come through, lifting the sternum, feeling the back engage, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Now let's step the right foot forward for a lunge. So look straight ahead and a little down. Let's reach the arms down for a moment. Bend the back knee and notice, can you push that left butt under and feel a stretch in the hip flexors here, pulling the right hip back. Now we'll take the angel arms. So the elbows come down, the shoulders are coming together, but there's a width. So feel the back engage, feel it engage. And then start to reach the arms and start to straighten that back leg as best you can. Reach up to go back. And inhale, rising up, so much space there, reach. And then take the hands down. And let's go ahead and lower. And rise, and come through. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take it back. Left side. Step the left foot forward. Find that drishti or gaze point in front of you. And then let's bend the back knee. Feel that under the butt muscle, really pushing forward. You feel the hip flexors on that right side stretching. Now, angel arms. We feel the back engage here. Now start to straighten the back leg as you go back. The back is engaging, the front is opening. Reach, reach, reach and lift. And then inhale, reach forward, take the hands down, step back, and lower. And rise, and then come forward. Inhale, lift, and exhale, downward facing dog. And notice how your down dog feels here. Breathe, inhale. If you're using the blocks, it's a little easier to get the heels closer to the floor. Maybe you want to go a little longer. Breathe. With your dog, you can step back more if you like that. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. And then let's make our way up to the front. I'm going to lightly hop up. I find a little target. I lift up. Take the feet down. The blocks make that easier too. Bend the knees, reach the arms, and come to stand. Let's do one more. Inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. We'll go ahead and make our way back. Try to keep your shoulders over your wrists as you do that. And lower. And rise. Coming through. Big breath in. And exhale. We're going to step into warrior one this time. So right foot forward. Take your back heel down. Turn your ribs to face forward. Circle those arms. Take up space. Circle those arms. Reach up. Breathe. And then inhale, rise up. Reach forward. I like to reach through a lunge, so I really engage the right butt. And step back. And lower. It's really nice to use these sun salutations to warm the body up. Get it nice and open. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do the left side. Step the left foot forward, the right foot comes down. We're turning the ribs forward as you reach. Keep the right butt under, lift up to go back. Breathe. And then inhale, rising up. Reach forward, pull that left butt back, and then take your hands down. Stepping back, and let's go ahead and lower. And rise, and come through. Lift that sternum. And exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe here. Inhale. And exhale, really reaching through the upper body, through the lower body, pulling the belly in. Inhale. Feel now are the hamstrings a little bit more open. Exhale. And then find a nice target. Pull the belly way in and lift up and fold. And then from here, bend the knees, reach the arms, and come to stand. And we'll find ourselves in Samasthiti. And then let's go ahead and step out, and we'll come into Uttanasana. So pull your belly way in. Notice, get your pubic bone and belly button on the same plane, so your butt's not sticking out, you're not tucking under. And then hinge at the hips. Come forward. Take your hands on your shins, and notice, can you straighten your legs? And only go as deep as you can straighten your legs, but you can start to fold in gently now. So just drop the head and gently see if you can go deep into that crease in the hips and take your body down. Breathe. Feel the hamstrings. So engage the front of the legs so we stretch the back. And then inhale, lengthen. This time, let's try Padangusthasana, where you grab the big toes. These are your padas, your feet. And we're going to pull forward first. Maybe you need to bend your knees a little and try to straighten. Some of you can come down. And really engage the front of the legs so that the back of the legs, the hamstrings, are really getting length. And then inhale, lengthen. Let's take the arms out, rising all the way up. And we'll bring everything down to Samasthiti. And now I'm going to set up for some standing poses. So a block in the front and a block in the back. And then we'll go ahead and step out. And then from here, Now we're gonna open the hips. So we were facing one direction with the hips, and now we're opening. So we're gonna come into Virabhadrasana or Warrior Two, where you feel this external rotation. There's always a little balance of internal and external, but the emphasis, especially on the front leg, is on that external rotation. So really opening the hips, and then reach the arms. Notice, can you make a nice right angle here? Let's do the best you can, and breathe. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. And now let's come into Utthita Parsvakonasana. So you could just take your forearm here. We're gonna circle this top arm for a side body stretch. Or you could be here, here. I'm gonna use the block. Breathe, turning those right ribs to the left and really reaching this top arm. Nice space in the side body. And then inhale, let's straighten the leg. I'm gonna move the block back a little. You could be here. And then open, open. So really roll that left shoulder open, open, open. And then inhale, rise up. Let's go to the other side. So turning the right foot in, the left foot out, and focusing on that external rotation of the hips, especially in the front leg, trying to find a nice right angle. So we're really opening, reach, breathe, inhale, exhale. Now we'll come into Utthita Parsvakonasana, extended side angle. You could be here, we're circling, you could be here, here, or I'm gonna use the block. Reach, turn the left ribs to the right and reach, feeling that opening on that right side body. And then inhale, reach up to the ceiling. You could move your block, or you could be here, and just open that right shoulder. Feel that openness, breathe. Inhale, exhale, and then inhale, rise up. And then from here, let's come into Prasarita Padottanasana. But first, let's take it into kind of like a down dog position. So you feel the hip crease nice and deep as you come forward. And then try not to let your butt go back, but reach forward with your upper body and see if you can just keep reaching, finding space and opening. Breathe, breathe. And then inhale, lengthen. Start to walk in. Let's grab the big toes. Inhale here. Exhale, pull down. So shoulders away from your ears, and you're pulling down. And breathe. Feel the back of the legs, the hamstrings, straight legs. And then inhale, lengthen. Let's take the hands to the waist and rise up. Let's turn the feet out a little bit for goddess pose. So we're really opening the hips, externally rotating. Feel that. You can even take your hands and just feel those knees open. And then from here, let's just take it into a prayer position and try and open those knees and breathe, creating space. Inhale, find a gentle pause. See if you can open easily, don't push. Inhale, rise up. And then let's turn to the right, and we're gonna do Parivrtta Trikonasana, but we're gonna enter it from Parsvakonasana. So let's inhale, reach the arms up. This is a big hamstring stretch. And then exhale, start to come forward. Keep pulling your right butt back. So you don't wanna be opening your hips. You wanna really get the hamstrings. You have to really pull that right butt back. Then we're gonna use the block and just reach forward. Some of you might be high, right? Some of you might not need it. You might be on the ground. And breathe, but wherever you are, really melt, melt, melt in. Keep pulling the right hip back. And then inhale, we're gonna lengthen here. Let's put the block to the outside of the right ankle, and then we're gonna take the left hand on the block, or you could have it on your shin. So keep lengthening your spine and start to turn. Keep pulling that right butt back. Roll that right shoulder open. Now we get the outsides of the hamstrings. Breathe, the outer one. Then inhale, rise up. It's intense because you're also balancing. So inhale here, let's reach the arms up. And then start to come forward, really reaching. Pull that left butt back. And you could take your block, whatever level, reaching, and then taking the head down as you're ready. And breathing. Inhale and exhale. Nice hamstring stretch. breathing. And then inhale, lengthen. Let's take the block to the outside of the left ankle. You could just have your hand on your shin or put it on the block and turn. And keep pulling that left butt back. Turn, breathe. And then inhale here and rise up. So good on the hamstrings. And then let's step everything together, Samasatihi. And now we're going to come into Utthita, Hasta, Padangusthasana, which is good for the hips and the hamstrings, but we'll start on the right side. I always like to use the wall here because you won't be afraid and you can take it deeper with that trust. So we'll start by lifting the right leg up and really rooting through that left leg. You can grab your big toe and you could use the wall, extend. And from here, see if you can come into a little forward bend and rise. And then we're going to go ahead and open. Feel the hips open here. I always think it feels really nice to do a little bit of a back bend here. You can use the wall and then bring it back. And then let's slowly hold and lower the leg down. Go to the other side. So letting your left leg come up, push down through that right leg. Strong hips, strong glutes. And then grab your toe and then go ahead and extend the leg. And from here, a gentle fold in, breathing. Just do the best you can and rise. And now we'll open. You could play around with the back bend here if you felt like it. And then we'll bring it back, keeping the leg out there and lower. And now we're going to play around with tree pose. So the right leg will come up and then you'll open it out to tree pose. Pause here for a moment. You can keep your gaze a little down and you can stay here. Or for those of you who want to try, we're going to try Ardha Baddha Padma, which is half lotus. So you're not moving from the knee joint, you're moving from the hip joint. From here, you try to get your knee down and keep that same gaze point. We're trying to get the knee down and breathe. If you're up here, that's okay. Just know that's where you're going. And breathe. And then we'll slowly release. It's nice on the hips. So let's do the other side. Left leg comes up. Bring it to tree pose. Find your nice focus. And you can stay here. Or if you want to try, just keep the bend in the knee and we're moving from this hip to come into half lotus as best we can. And I'm holding on with my right hand, trying to draw my knee down, and I'm trying not to stick my butt out. And just stay here and breathe. And then slowly release. And then we'll come back up to the front of the mat. Inhale here, reach the arms. Exhale, fold. I'm going to put the blocks back down. We'll go to downward facing dog. And notice, where are you now in your down dog? Does everything feel a little bit more open? And then we're going to make our way to seated. So you could jump up lightly and then take the blocks and maybe lift up, just a practice of Lolasana, and come down, or just jump up and sit down. And now we're in Dandasana. So let's come to Paschimottanasana. So notice first how you're sitting. You don't want your back rounded. You could bend your knees if you needed to. You could sit up on a block or a blanket. And then from here, let's come into a forward bend. Let's first 2 fingers, big toes, as best you can. Or some of you might want to use a prop because you can't quite reach and keep your back engaged, your low back, right? Once you find that, then you can just drop over and round. So some of us are using our big toes and a gentle pull. Wherever you are, focus on this hip crease, getting deeper into the hip crease. Shoulders away from your ears. Pull the belly in. And exhale. Engage the front of the leg so the back of the leg stretch. And then inhale, lengthen. And exhale, release. And now let's come into, we're going to do a few hip openers here. So we'll bend the knees. You notice I'm like mat width here. And I'm curling my pelvis back, kind of like a position you would never sit in for good posture, right? You want to, the feet are wide and you're pulling the belly in and you're curled back. But Then we're gonna lean a little. Let the left knee fall over, let the right knee pull the belly in, and then we're gonna lean a little, go the other way. Finding space in the hips, just gentle. So it's a gentle rocking, and come back. And then we'll come up. And from here, I want you to take this position of 90 degrees, 90 degrees. So that just means this angle and this angle. This might be hard. So if you find you're really leaning and falling over this way, you could put yourself up on a block or a blanket. You could also use the support of this hand. So sit up for a moment and notice this hip. You want to really turn it in. That's internal hip rotation. And then this one's doing the opposite. It's externally rotating. So the stretch is going to be, we're going to come forward. We're going to try to aim for the foot, but that might not be possible. So you do the best you can. Some people might be here. Some people might want to try coming more towards the shin. And some people might be able to surrender down this way. And I'm pushing my right butt down and really trying to get a stretch in that right hip, that right butt that I'm sitting on. That's where you want to feel it. Definitely don't want to feel your knees here. And then rise up. This one's usually accessible to everybody, but pigeon pose sometimes is a little bit more difficult to find. So try to keep your knee in alignment with your hip. We're going to move this foot in a bit. This is where it gets tricky. We're going to come up and try and turn. So that's a whole, you come up, and I'm trying to turn to square the hips as best I can. For some people, it's really helpful to put a block there. It'll help find that alignment. And then from here, once you've found that, because there's a stretch here too, not only in the front, but in the back. You're gonna come forward this time, just forward. Some of you might find, oh, I don't need that. This feels pretty good. But keep it if you do need it. And then you could just try to press that butt down, that right butt. Keep breathing. You can stay here really long and pause the video if you want, if it's really serving you. But you don't want knee pain. So let's go ahead and we're gonna come out of it. So if you're on a block, come off the block and we'll come up. Let's try and find that 90-90 again. And then from here, we're gonna go to the other side. So see if you can. Pull your belly in. Maybe you don't need your hands, but maybe you do and that's fine. So from here, we're gonna find that 90-90 again. And if you use the block, make sure it's with you. So 90 degrees, 90 degrees. And then I'm just gonna sit up and find that internal rotation on that right leg, really rolling in, finding space and openness. And then I'm coming forward. I'm trying to get my head towards my foot, but that might not be possible. So you might just be working on getting this left butt down and you're just doing the best you can, maybe towards the knee, maybe towards the shin, but breathe. Inhale and exhale. And you can stay here as long as you'd like as well, but I'm gonna rise up. We're gonna take us into pigeon stretch. So I'm gonna move the shin in, tuck the back toes. This is the hard part. Lift up. And you could take your block for support. Some of you might need to be higher. And really try to turn. I'm really trying to turn this hip in so I'm getting a nice stretch on the hip flexors of the back leg and the outer hips of the front butt. And then we come forward and I'm gonna go ahead and take it out because I feel like I can get deeper there and breathe, but stay on it if it's giving you stability and you're getting a nice stretch. Breathe. Couple more breaths. Again, you could pause the video. This was going well. If you're up on a prop, come off of it. And then we're gonna find 90-90 again. And we're gonna make our way back. So you could use your hands or you could play around with not using them. That's up to you. And then we come to Dandasana. And from here, let's go ahead and find Janu Sirsasana, which is a great hip and hamstring stretch. So bend the right knee. We'll open it out to the side. Turn the ribs to face over that left leg. If hamstrings are tight, grab your prop, bend the knee and straighten, or you could hold on here or here. But for some of you, it's okay to grab the foot, and you really want to pull from that right side. Some of you can grab a wrist. Really feel that length. Breathe. Engage the front of the leg so the back of the leg really stretches. Breathe. Feel the right hip opening, and there's a line from your right pinky finger to your right hip. That's really finding space. And then inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. We'll do the other side. Bend the left knee. The left hip is opening. Inhale, turn to the right. You could bend the knee. Straighten, really pull from that left side if you're using the prop. Or you're here, or you're pulling that left side. Breathing. Really engage the front of that right leg so the back stretches. And then inhale, lengthen, and exhale, release. Now we're going to come into Ardha Matsyendrasana. So we're going to bend the right knee. And let's go ahead and cross the left ankle over the top of that right knee. And take a breath in and sit up tall. Inhale and exhale, start to turn. If it felt really easy in your body and you wanted to, you could take the arm on the other side. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, turning. Inhale, lifting up. I feel a nice hip stretch on that left side. And then the ribs are coming around, creating lots of space in the spine. And then coming back around. And from here, we'll go to the other side. So bending the left leg, crossing the right ankle over that left knee, sitting up. I'm trying to pull this right knee towards me and sit up and turn. You could also be sitting on blocks or a blanket. Inhale and exhale. If it felt good, you could take your arm to the other side, sitting up, finding space, and turning, and breathing, and turning, and then inhale, coming back, and exhale, release. Coming into Dandasana. And now we'll go ahead and cross. We're going to come to all fours, or our knees. All fours and then our knees. I'm going to use a prop for my knee. So you could use a blanket, or you don't have to use anything if you're in a good place. And I'll talk about that. So when you kneel, you want to be not directly over the kneecap, but a little forward of it. And then you could use your blocks here for assistance if you needed to. We're going to straighten that right leg. And then from here, we're going to get a nice hamstring stretch. So I want you to really pull that right butt back and start to come forward. Most of you, or some of you, are going to be able to just take your hands to the floor and just drop the head down. If you pull the foot back, you'll get some calves too. So it's all the whole back of the leg, really, really getting a nice stretch. And breathe. We're really trying to pull that right butt back. And then inhale, rise up. Now we're going to go the other way. So we put the foot down, bend the knee, lunge forward. When you do that, push this butt under and feel the stretch here. Really opening up the hips, and let the sternum lift as well. And just notice that. And then from here, let's come to Anjaneyasana, and we'll start with angel arms. So you drop the elbows down, you feel the back contract, but there's a widening, and it almost feels like the spine is pushing forward, right? All those, yeah, you feel that spine really working, every part of it evenly. And then reach the arms. Inhale. Exhale, more space. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, rise up. And then from here, since we're here already, it's optional. I'm going to come into Hanumanasana, but you could do Anjaneyasana again, or just try it. You don't have to go too deep. Let's try and be a little strict here on the alignment. So it's not about getting all the way down. And I don't have a lot of pressure or any pressure on my knee because I'm lifting up. I'm trying to keep this butt under and keep that hip crease in the front leg. So it's like I'm pulling my right butt back, tucking my left butt under. I'm not trying to come into the full split. I'm just trying to get the most out of this position. So I'm just lifting up, breathing. Breathing, just notice what's going on in your body. Breathe, and only go as far as it feels okay. And rise up. And maybe you'll find some space that you didn't know you had. And we'll go to the other side. So putting a little towel there. So this is the front leg in the split, right? You're really pulling this hip back. Start to come forward. Some of you might be able to take your hands here. Pull the toes back. Breathe. And then inhale, rise up. And now we're going to bend the front knee and really get that right butt under. Use those muscles. Lift the sternum. Feel that big stretch here. And then rise up, Anjaneyasana. Angel arms. Angel arms are great because they connect us to our back muscles. So engage the back. Feel that. Like you're pushing your back forward and you're lifting up to go back. Back, back, back. And then rise up. And here we go. Inhale. So find that straight front leg. Start to go down. I'm trying to really turn that right hip forward and keep that butt under on that right side. And I'm pulling that left hip back. This side's harder for me, so I don't go down as far, but I don't care because I'm getting a good stretch. Really pull that left hip back. Tuck the right butt under and just notice what's going on in your body. Breathe, breathe. Inhale, finding space and openness, but not pushing too hard. And then come back out. And let's slowly, how about we make our way down to seated? So just come on over and sit. And let's take the legs out for Dandasana. So even though something might be intense, you can just slow it down and find the space and allow it to happen very naturally in its own time. So we're going to come into Upavishta. You don't have to go real wide. Just take a moment and take the hands behind, flex the feet, and go ahead and curl your spine back. Let's have that bad posture for a moment. And then from there, see if you can sit up. And if that's hard, bend the knees. Try to get your low back engaged. So you could go back. And we're trying to open the hips. Maybe you have to bend the knees. And maybe you can just stay here. Or some of you might be able to, but definitely stay there if you're getting something out of that, a lot of hip opening. Otherwise, some of you might be able to reach, reach, reach. And I'm opening my feet. Reach, reach, reach. Pull the belly in. Breathe. I almost feel like I'm trying to arch my low back here. And then inhale, rise up. And then let's take the legs together. And we're going to make our way down to the floor. So I'm going to use the blocks for a supported back bend. And you're going to have one. So it's at the bottom edge of your shoulder blades, opposite your sternum, right there. So you try to curl back, because that's where you want to get that back bend, right in there. And then this one can be for your head. We'll bend the knees. Just take a moment, notice where you are. You can reach the arms this way. Maybe they come to the floor. If not, you could grab the elbows, elevate your shoulders and roll them away from your ears. Try to get your butt back. So you're arching your back. Maybe you want to switch the crossing. Just opening across the sternum. Breathing. And then let's go ahead and straighten the legs. Reach the arms. Take a breath in. Exhale. Use the assistance of the blocks to help you curl. And then let's make our way back again. So inhale here. Exhale, curling to go back. Really curl, pull the belly in. You could use your hands. And then let's bend the knees. Take a breath in. Exhale, just lift up. Feel how the hips really work here to lift you up. The hamstrings, the hips. Feel this opening here. Stay here for a moment. And then see if you can lift up a little higher. Make sure your neck is long. It's not down, it's not up. Now reach the arms. And then let's slowly curl down. Really stretching out the spine. Pull the belly in. Pull everything in. Keep reaching the arms all the way down. Let's take the feet together. The knees out. Feel openness. This is another one where you could pause the video and stay here. You could take the arms to the side. And now we're just going to come to our closing. So we'll do, as usual, an inversion. You could do a supported inversion and use a block. So You could be here, or you could just have your legs straight up in the air without the block. But try to notice, can you get your pelvis nice and neutral? And you could stay here and really keep the legs straight and feel the hamstrings. Or if it's not contraindicated, you don't have osteoporosis or any other injury, we're going to go ahead and take the legs over if that's something you want to do, or stay there, right? And round the spine into Halasana, which is a nice hamstring stretch. And then maybe you want to take it to shoulder stand. Make sure your neck stays long. You could stay here and do these variations as long as you'd like and pause the video. You could bend the knees, Karnapidasana, and curl the spine a little more, keeping that neck lengthening. And we'll meet here. And then we'll make our way off the block. Lift the hips up. Let's go ahead and shift them to the left. Take the arms out to the side. Inhale here. Exhale, legs come over. Let's roll this left shoulder. Left shoulder open. Turn the right ribs to the left. As you turn, let the spine release. Inhale, coming back. We're going to go the other way. Lift up, shift the hips to the right. Knees up. Exhale, legs over. Now roll the right shoulder open and turn the left ribs to the right. And then inhale, come back. Let's go ahead, find a nice happy baby. You can hold on here. Maybe you're holding on here. You can rock around a little bit. And then just make your way to Shavasana. And just become that space, that openness, that vastness, and stay in that. And you can stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like and pause the video, but I'm gonna go ahead and take us out. So just become aware of your breath and slowly start to move fingers and toes and stay in this space and this energy as you bend the knees, making your way to a fetal position and pausing there. And then very slowly making your way up to seated. I always love to finish class the same way we started, but taking a moment to notice the difference in the body and the mind from the beginning of class to the end of class. So much space, so much openness. And let this theme of space resonate in everything you do. Namaste.